In this video, Americans are talking about how a South Afrikaner man unalived his wife. Let's get right into the video. Like and subscribe.
Few weeks, they are part of the posse that was being murked in their country that they have colonized, and Trump brought them over here. But here's the T-ho. This dude has murked his wife. He rustled her up, choked her out, and now she's a useless white crayon somewhere in a box, maybe still in the freezer. Oh, he's been arrested. But here's the thing. White people are bringing crime to this country.
They're bringing
They're
crime.
rapists. They're drugs mulers. They're just bad people. And your guy Trump said these people was going to make America great. They was going to contribute something to America. Well, fucking well. Can't make this shit up.
TikTok, you all sure do pick and choose what y'all gonna talk about. Now, when they were advocating for these South African refugees to come over to the United States because they were so-called being mistreated and so-called having their land taken and so-called being racist towards you all were in agreement with that. But now that they've come over to the United States, no one is talking about that one South African so-called refugee expat that murdered his wife. Why y'all so quiet now? See, y'all already knew that those people were not being persecuted over there. You all knew that they wanted an all-white town. There's videos all over TikTok with this lady saying that they want just a all-white town. And South Africa said, yeah, no, we're not playing that. So now all of a sudden they're being mistreated. And now this man that brought his little funky tail over here, I done murdered that lady. Where's the outrage?
Even been 30 days. And we're learning that one of the white South Africans has his wife here in America. I'm going to get the details, bring it back to you, but they haven't been here for 30 days and he already, his wife, on American soil. I'm not laughing because I'm laughing because we were told that they were being persecuted in South Africa. We were told that they are upstanding, blah, 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 blah. American authorities had to arrest him.
Trigger warning. Remember those people not too long ago that came from South Africa because they made up a genocide and they were like seeking asylum and some of them settled in... Yeah, well, one of them already killed his wife. I mean, this was on the 24th of May in Virginia. He strangled her to death. What's wild about it is my first thought was like, dang, maybe he did come over here to do that because maybe he'll get away with it. Maybe he'll get a pardon. Maybe. And not too long ago, that would have sounded ridiculous for me to say. But here we are. What if he does get a pardon? Like he'll claim like emotional distress or something. What if he does?
Congratulations, Orange Pooping Pants Man. You officially have your first murder from yourself. White South African that you decided to give asylum to. Yes, brother man waited when he came here. His wife is a teacher and he was once upon a time an accountant, not a farmer like they want them to be. Then turn around and suffocate his fucking wife. The name is Towner, Towne. And the wife was a South African teacher, and he was an accountant. Now I'm patiently waiting to see, is he gonna get a pardon? Because you brought his ass here. You told him this is how our country run. So now he killed his wife. Can we all figure out what the hell? Please let me know.
So y'all remember May 12th, right? The Afrikaners, the refugees, the ones that are being so badly persecuted from all the violent black people in Africa. showed up here as refugees for a better life and a photo op with American flags, and all they want to do here was live peacefully, right? But then, like Biggie said, you're dead wrong, because one of them killed his wife in a fit of rage and domestic violence. Imagine that. This is 32-year-old Alexander, which is ironic because he's being held in Alexandria, Virginia. Right. Him and his wife just couldn't get along, got into an argument, got into a fight. So he got the little scratch on his face. Little scratch on his face. He took his wife's whole life. The whole thing. Done. Lights out. Over. You know, the Trump administration and Trump and the press secretary and all that, they're awfully quiet about this. You know, don't want to bring any more bad press considering, you know, the second wave just showed up yesterday. They want to protect the white South Afrikaners. They want to protect women and children. And they did extensive background checks. And, you know, everyone was good and safe and just, you know, wanted a peaceful life.
I don't think that she is with us anymore. Those were the chilling words that Alexandra Town said to 911 operators as he stood over the dead body of his wife. A wife who he claimed he loved. A wife who he had beaten, strangled, and killed while their child was in the next room. Hi everyone, my name is Carrie and I'm an ordinary South African woman, but I'm an ordinary South African woman who is hurtful against this violence that is happening against our women. And today I want to talk about the case of Kim White. Now, Kim White was a beautiful 32-year-old South African who was born in Cape Town. And when she grew up, she always wanted to help people. And that's why she decided to become a teacher to mold young minds. So when the opportunity came for Kim to work in Dubai, she leapt at it. And she had an amazing time in Dubai. It's an amazing city. And she drank in all what Dubai had to offer. But it was in Dubai where she would cross paths with a dashing young American soldier with an easy smile and a good sense of humor. And his name was Alexandra Town. Now, Kim and Alexandra would fall in love quickly and they would have a whirlwind romance. And Kim soon found out that she was expecting his baby. And we all know that it's not okay to have a baby out of wedlock in Dubai. So Kim returned to South Africa and she and Alexandra wanted to be a family. So they got married in December 2021. But all was not good. You see, Alexandra had a problem. And his problem was that he hated women. And behind closed doors, he would beat Kim. Now, we know that her family knew what was going on, and they often said to her, "Are you sure this is the type of man that you want to be with?" But Kim was in love with him. And you know what? After every time, he would come and apologize, and he would have the most sincerest apologies. And he would tell her that, "Kim, you are the woman who can change me. You are the woman who can make me a better man." And Kim believed him because she wanted to believe him, because she loved him. So Alexandra would go on back to the US to secure a visa. We've all watched 90 Day Fiance. We know how it works. A visa for Kim and their new child. And Kim would soon follow him. And by September 2023, Kim had followed him to the US, where he was staying in military barracks. So Kim just wanted to have an ordinary white picket fence type of life. And she hoped that she would get that when she moved in with Alexandra in America, and they would be the lovely, beautiful young family that they were. But guys, just 2 months after Kim joined Alexandra in America, she took a protective order out against him. You know why? Because woman hater Alexandra was beating her. Oftentimes she would call her aunt, and her aunt would hear Kim crying where she had locked herself in a bathroom or a bedroom, and the aunt would hear Alexander pounding on the door, trying to get to her as the couple argued. Now, guys, Kim tried to do the right thing. She tried to leave, but it's not that easy. The stats say that it takes on average 7 or 8 times for a woman to leave their abuser. And let's just think about this. Kim has moved to a new country. She has an aunt in Ohio, but that's quite a distance away from Virginia, where Kim was. And Kim has a young child. This guy was dependent on her being in America. We all know how 90 Day Fiancé works. So, guys, let's just think about that power dynamic. And also, Kim and Alexander had a trauma bond. And a trauma bond is one of the most difficult bonds that you can break because of how it forms. So what happens is that you fight, and then your body reacts a certain way, and then you make up, and then the body releases certain hormones and brain chemicals to the point where it becomes almost an addictive process. Now, ladies, if we're going to go for anyone in the comments, let's go for woman hater Alexander, because Kim was just trying to do what she thought was the right thing. And Kim moved out and lived with her aunt for a while. And then she often spoke to her aunt about, she felt like a failure. She had a lot of guilt. She felt like a failure because her marriage wasn't working. She felt bad because her child didn't have a father. So when Alexander came begging one last time, promising that he was a changed man, that Kim was the person that mattered the most to him in life, that he would do anything for her, that he probably promised he'd go to therapy, he'd do anything to get her back. She loved him, and she wanted to believe what he said was true. So Kim moved back in with this man. This woman-hating man had so much anger for Kim that he held his hands to her throat for minutes while he watched the blood vessels pop in her eyes and the life go out of them. Guys, I'm going to be making a TikTok. Follow me. I'm going to be making a TikTok every day until something is done about this. Because you know what? I'm not going to run out of women. And by the time you go to bed at night, and by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, another one of our sisters is going to be killed by the man that she shares her bed with. We lose one of our sisters every 7 hours in South Africa.
This is crazy. Trump was literally saying they were farmers, but he did finance in South Africa, and supposedly South Afrikaners were getting unalived for no reason, and they come to the United States and unalived his wife.
You can't make it up. Trump deported immigrants because of crime, so I hope South Afrikaners who do stuff like this get deported back just like everybody else. But I doubt it. Like, comment what you think and subscribe for more videos like this.
The incident involving the white Afrikaner who was convicted of killing his wife remains a distressing topic that touches on various aspects, including personal tragedies, legal consequences, and societal implications. In recent years, there have been several high-profile cases in South Africa involving domestic violence and femicide, reflecting a larger international concern about violence against women. The case in question often raises questions about the underlying factors that contribute to such tragedies, including societal attitudes towards gender roles, mental health issues, and the stigma that surrounds asking for help. The legal process in such cases can be complex, often involving extensive investigations, trials, and public interest. Sentencing in domestic violence cases is also a crucial aspect, as it seeks to address the crime while considering the perpetrator's background and circumstances, which can vary widely. Public response to such incidents often leads to nationwide discussions about the need for better support systems for victims, more robust legal protections, and broader community engagement in preventing domestic violence. Campaigns aimed at raising awareness and advocating for change continue to gain momentum in South Africa. highlighting the urgent need for action to address these pervasive issues in society. The personal and familial impact of such a tragedy cannot be understated, as it reverberates through communities and affects the lives of many. Conversations about accountability, rehabilitation, and prevention are essential in addressing the cycle of violence within families and communities.